When Buddha sent a man's father to heaven. Once upon a time it so happened that a man died, and his son wanted to ensure his father goes to heaven. In the town, there are many travel agents who book tickets to heaven. He went from travel agent to travel agent and everyone was willing to take the booking, but no one had a confirmed ticket. But he wanted a confirmed ticket for his father. Then he found out that Gautama the Buddha himself was in town on that day. An enlightened being means that he has a hotline with God. If he himself recommends your father goes straight into heaven without being stopped at the gates. So he went looking for him. Gautama was sitting under a tree in front of a huge lake outside the town. He went and fell at his feet and held onto his feet like an alligator and said, "My father was a good man and he passed away. I want you to make sure that he goes to heaven. He must go up, not down." Before Gautama could open his mouth, he said, "You should not say no." There is a tradition in India that if someone comes to you and requests, "I am going to ask you something," you should not say no. That means you cannot say no because he is that desperate about it. You have no choice. So Gautama said, "Now what can I do? You have already put this stricture on me. I cannot say no." "All right, you do one thing. Go back home, have a dip in the river at 4 o'clock in the morning. Take an earthen pot and fill it half with rocks and half with butter. Tie it with a cloth, bring it here, and we will see what we can do for your father." Our man went. "If your father is going to heaven, can you take a small pot?" He bought the biggest pot available in the town, filled it half with rock, another half with butter, and tied it up. He carried this very heavy pot with great difficulty and came and stood in front of Gautama. Gautama looked at him and said, "Go around the lake 3 times and come." This is called a circumambulation. There is a science behind it, but now people take it to ridiculous lengths of going around everything 3 times. Gautama said, "Go around the lake 3 times and come." The man walked around the lake 3 times carrying this heavy pot. He was half finished when he came and stood in front of Gautama. Gautama looked at his condition and his determination. He told him, "Just walk into the water till the water comes to your chest." He went in. Then Gautama said, "Gently let the pot in." The pot went in and sank. Gautama picked up a thick stick, threw it to him and said, "Take the stick and now with a single stroke, you must break the pot." The pot was under the water and the man was tired. Breaking this with a single stroke is a difficult task. "But your father is going to heaven. Can you give up?" He stood there and got ready. The man thought of all the gods that he knew and held his breath. Then Gautama said, "If you break it in one single stroke, the stones will come and float on the surface, the butter will sink. Then your father has made it." In one hefty stroke, the pot broke and the butter came up. He looked at this sacrilege. Butter came up. Now what to do? He looked at Gautama. Gautama said, "He did not make it." Butter came up when stones were supposed to come up, and the man felt totally disappointed and dejected. Then he turned around and started walking back. As he started coming out of the water, his brain started to work. He came to Gautama and asked, "You said that butter will sink and stones will float. How is that possible? The very laws of nature are such that stones can only sink, butter can only float. Did you deceive me?" Gautama said, "Oh, now that you know so much about the laws of nature, what is the problem? If your father is like butter, he will go up. If he is like a stone, he will go down. What can I do about it? And what can you do about it? You look very tired. Go home and sleep." The man understood what Gautama wanted to tell him and went home peacefully.